board looks like.
Josh Graves, he's the Delver player who had the Spectral Flights in
Yeah.
his deck. And the gut shots. So, one will be good against David Palmer, one will not.
No, that gut shot is pretty dead game one.
Nope. He'll deal him one.
It will deal him one,
It'll
yeah. That's pretty
Be
relevant.
fun to deal the last point with that card, but that's about it.
All right. Oh, and he has, what about Life's Finale?
Ooh.
Blue-Eye Delver does not have many creatures.
No, if David Palmer can resolve a Life's Finale, which questionable whether that card's even good in the matchup, but if he can strip the remaining Geist from the deck.
That would be real good if that resolves.
Yeah.
All right.
For sure.
I think they're just getting back to the match.
Yeah.
All right, here they go.
So it looks like it was a Gitaxian Probe turn one. All we saw was a Day of Judgment.
Yeah.
And Ponder for Josh Graves.
Let's see. He's conveniently holding his Ponder right beneath the logo.
It's almost like he knows.
Almost like he does know.
And he'll pass the turn.
David Palmer's first turn. Leads off with a Sunpetal Grove. Not the land you want to lead off with, but...
That's fine. He doesn't actually have any one-drop save,
Right.
Tragic Slip. That's sort of the beauty of this deck. It can afford to play all these come-into-play tap lands.
Yeah. So, and was Josh Graves' deck that also played Mental Misstep?
I think he has 3 main deck Mental Misstep.
Man.
Yeah.
So he has quite a few dead cards in this matchup.
Yeah, he does.
Let's see
Game
if
one
he
at
can get... Ooh, Invisible Stalker, though. That could be rough. Now, David does have a Day of Judgment. We know that.
Yes.
But, you know, obviously that is a card that it can be hard to deal with. Now, maybe he has a Liliana in his hand.
He does. That's the one card I saw. I saw Liliana. I saw Tragic Slip. But, you know, I don't see any other land except that Basic Plains. And that does not cast Liliana.
That does not cast Liliana.
Not even close.
Coming in for 1. Goes to 19 to 18 with David Palmer up by 1. And does Josh Graves have? Hopefully he has another spell for, you know.
Yeah, he would like to.
Yeah, he really wants another creature in play. Ooh, is this a Geist?
Wow,
Could it be?
if it was.
Would it be? It's a sword.
That one's pretty good too.
Well, if David misses his black source.
Yeah, he desperately needs a chapel here. Swamp,
something.
chapel, any of those would be amazing.
And,
Ooh,
yeah,
there it
hits
is. Right off the top.
Liliana comes out. Liliana kills Invisible Stalker.
I think he said, yeah, that's good.
I think that might be an understatement at this point.
I agree. That's pretty good.
That is pretty good. So Josh Graves back to pretty much 0.
Yeah, now he does have the Moorland Haunt. So end of turn, he can Moorland Haunt, make a token, gets around Liliana really well.
It does.
Almost guaranteed to kill Liliana. David Palmer, though, has a Lingering Souls in hand.
And that's here's what he goes for. Oh, and a Geist.
Wow.
So what's David's play here? He does have an. We see the planes in his hand, so I imagine he will be +1ing Liliana and casting Day of Judgment.
I think he has to here. Geist is just a card that demands a Day of Judgment all by itself. And oh wow, backup Liliana too.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it definitely is. So even if Josh Graves can end of turn Moorland Haunt, equip all to expend, or rather all to kill that Liliana, David just has another one. We'll see what David decides on.
Yeah, I mean, he could just, well, probably could let the Geist hit him, but that doesn't seem. Yep, +1ing.
Liliana will tick up. David will discard the Lingering Souls.
Wow, that is going to be real good here.
Oh yeah. Of course, the Sword of War and Peace does give protection from the Lingering Souls tokens, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah, David, you know, he's still at, it's turn 4, and he's still at 19 life.
Yeah.
He's getting his hand down. You know, obviously Liliana's going to keep their hands low, so the sword's not going to do a whole lot of extra damage.
His mana base is perfect at this point, though.
Yeah.
He has double green, double black, and double white, which is something that's pretty tough for him, as we saw in that last match he played.
5 lands now for the Delver deck. A deck, of course, that doesn't play that many lands.
Right. I think in 19 or something like that, 20.
So, you know, he just looks like he's in a situation where he has more lands than he can deal with and not any threats.
Yeah. And he'll be forced to say go here. Moorland Haunt, of course, makes it pretty good. Makes this play just fine.
Tick up 1 more.
Yep. Josh Graves discards, as does David Palmer. Doesn't need that forest.
And does he have anything else relevant to play?
I believe his hand is Beast Within, Liliana, and a third card.
Boy, that Beast Within might be real good.
Yeah. Tragic Flip, I believe, is his last card.
Mormon Haunt is going to make a token.
End of turn.
He's going to get the
sword, it looks like. We'll see if David Palmer... Yep, his last card is Mana Leak.
I might have waited on that Beast Within.
And, you know, we were actually wrong about Josh Graves' deck. We were mixing up his and James Lance's.
Oh, okay.
Josh Graves does not have the Spectral Flights, the Mental Steps, or the Gut Shots.
Okay. Well, that's good news for Josh Graves.
Yeah, at least game one.
Yeah.
So Josh Graves draws a Seachrome Coast for his turn, or a Glacial Fortress, equally bad.
6 lands, yeah, and you know, Liliana might. I can't tell if they put another creature in his graveyard, but
I think there is one in there.
At least a Stalker left.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. But the game looks really, really good for David at this point.
Yeah, and especially Delver. Delver is such a bad top deck mode deck. It's drawing cards like Invisible Stalker, Dismember, Mana Leak.
Right, and you know that sort of War and Peace, especially with how low David's hand is just losing value every single turn.
Right. Eventually, it's just going to be a glorified Volshock Morningstar.
Right, which, you know,
still fine.
Still fine.
Especially with Moreland Haunt.
But sometimes you just want more than a Morningstar.
Yes.
It looks like he is going to have 4 tokens.
Yeah, Judge getting him tokens right now.
The Star City Games Spirit tokens, I believe.
Yep, there they go. So 4 1/1s. Now, the sword does grant protection from light, with David Palmer having 1 card in hand. Josh Graves going to go up to 1 card in hand. It doesn't do that much.
No, and that Liliana is, well, I guess he must probably just equips and kills Liliana this time.
I think he has to. That won't trigger the sword, so David Palmer won't take 1. He won't gain 1. Still all right.
But yeah, at least Liliana's gone for a turn until he plays his second Liliana.
Right. Josh Graves, of course, does not know he has that.
Right. There goes the Liliana. And 3 mana for... Ooh, a Geist.
Wow, what a draw.
That was quite a draw. So now this Liliana, which could have really gone a good way towards shutting Josh out of the match, is not going to do it.
No. David Palmer with Sorin, Lord of Innistrad, and Liliana in hand.
Now, I don't believe Josh has another creature in his graveyard.
I think he's out.
So the question is, what do you... Oh, I guess it's a Sorin, not a Garrick. I thought it might have been a Garrick. I think it might be a Garrick.
Wow. Sorin make an emblem here is actually pretty reasonable.
Yeah. Well, are you sure? Are we sure it's Sorin?
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the Lord of Innistrad.
Him and Garrick look pretty similar.
Yeah, they do.
Very similar positioning. If he had a Garrick, he might have been able to, you know, kill the token and play Liliana next turn. But instead, it's Sorin, make an emblem, swing for 8.
Yep, he has to know that Sorin's going to die, but that emblem will stay even if the Sorin dies.
Yeah, he's just looking to race at this point.
Yeah. He'll probably leave back... I don't even know if he will leave back 1 token. He might just swing with all of them.
I think he just go with all of them. I mean, because you don't want your opponent just to... He can just move the sword over.
Right.
And, you know, you're not really any better off.
Exactly. So, David Palmer attacks for 8, bringing Josh Graves to 10 life.
I think, obviously, David has all the really good top decks right here.
Right.
His cards are just so much more powerful than Josh's at this point in the game.
Yeah, Gideon, Elspeth,
moves over.
Garrick, any of these are
We're going to see
awesome.
the Spirit coming towards Sorin, and the Angel coming towards Sorin, the Angel and the Geist going at David, and the Spirit going towards Sorin.
Yeah, I don't really like this play from Josh Graves. He could have just redirected the 1 damage from Sword of War and Peace to the Sorin. I would have left that token back to trade with one of David's. Not the worst, though.
No.
He does get to deal David an extra point of damage with that Geist.
And, you know, it's a pretty good race at this point.
Yeah, I believe the correct life totals are each player at 10.
So now the big question is on David. I imagine he plays Liliana. He will... he has another Lingering Souls.
Oh, that's right. That was the first card he discarded to Liliana.
Now he gets to attack for 8, take Josh down to 2.
Yep. And theoretically, he should be able to live through this.
And make Josh sacrifice a creature.
Yep.
Do you think maybe you should have played Liliana first to get around Mana Leak?
I think actually Lingering Souls was the more important to
more important
resolve.
card?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe you're right. Oh yeah, because well, didn't Josh at 2 now?
3.
3. So I think maybe the Liliana was the more important card. But yep, that's it. Josh does not have what it takes to survive that attack.
Right. Exactly. So
right. So David takes the first game.
Yeah. And
if
you guys are unfamiliar, we explained it earlier, but we'll do it again. We're going to give away 3 months of Star City Games Premium during this match.
Yeah.
The way that this is going to work, we're going to ask you guys a trivia question, and if you tweet using the hashtag SCG Premium, that's pretty much all you need to do. Just use that hashtag. You can tweet SCG Live, you can use the hashtag SCGDFW, but you have to use SCG Premium. Now, if you get the right answer and you get it in before we announce the winner, you'll be randomly selected. Well, you won't be randomly selected. A winner will be randomly selected to win 3 free months of Star City Games Premium. So the question we're going to ask you is this. In our top 8, we have a lot of different archetypes. We have 7 different archetypes, but only one deck represents the color red in this top 8. Who is playing this deck? Now, if you don't know where to find it, you can, of course, look at our coverage. You can look at our tweets and find out who is playing the color red in this top 8. Now, Gut Shot doesn't count.
Gotcha. It is a red card, but we're talking about a person who's actually playing red sources in his deck.
Exactly. Now, who is that? If you tweet that at us, you can win 3 free months of Star City Games Premium, and we'll announce that after this match.
A lot of great articles this week. This was Legacy Week, actually.
Yeah.
So if you were going to the Grand Prix, or you just wanted to come here and play Legacy, you could easily have just read all these articles. There was a great Chapin article detailing the standard metagame, where I think a lot of these decks are very close to what Chapin tweeted about, or wrote an article about.
Yeah, they were. So, looking at the players' sideboards, who do you think has the advantage after board here?
Well, let's see. Oh, man. So, David Palmer has 2 Curse of Death's Hold. I don't know if that comes in or not. Autumn's Ale. Let's see. Yeah, it's going to stop yourself from being countered. Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, I feel like the 1 mana for Autumn's Veil might be just too much.
Might be too much. Doesn't have a whole lot.
Right.
I mean, the Lysine Alley is another Wrath.
Yep, Curse of Death's Hold is really the only one he has to bring in here.
Yeah.
Everything else is pretty optional. He'll just be tweaking his main deck based on what cards he wants and doesn't want in there, I think.
He does not have a whole lot in this matchup.
No.
But, I mean, maybe his game 1 is good enough that he can sort of slide on that. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure he really gains a heck of a lot. Josh Graves, on the other hand, he has a lot of options available to him.
He does.
He can play Surgical Extraction.
Yep. He's got Corrosive Gale.
He has Corrosive Gale.
Which, surprisingly in this matchup with David Palmer relying pretty heavily on Lingering Souls.
Right.
It might be worth bringing one in.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like it's very good in these blue-white decks because you think they play a lot of flyers, but the only ones they actually play are Delver's Secrets.
Yeah.
They've cut all the other flyers from their deck, Moreland Hunt, of course, but that barely counts.
Right.
Dissipate for sure will come in. That'll be the first card Josh Graves makes room for. Celestial Purge
kills Sorin. It kills Liliana. I think that's probably
pretty reasonable.
Probably pretty reasonable. It's not not the greatest card, but
no, but it'll be all right. Especially with Snapcaster Mage in your deck, you want to at least access to a couple.
Right,
of
and
them.
Josh, he's got 4 main deck Vapor Snags, and those are not very good in this matchup.
Just awful.
Dismembers too.
2 main deck Dismembers. Those are 6 cards right there that he really wants to take out of his deck.
And just none of those are particularly good against. Considering the only creatures that David can make are token creatures.
Right, and if he's making tokens, that means his planeswalkers are doing their work anyway.
Right. He's got a Garruk, and he has 3 Garruks,
2 Elspeth,
2 Elspeth, 3 Sorins. And 4 Lingering Souls is his only ways to actually produce creatures.
Right, and it's nice having the Vapor Snag when David Palmer goes to double block the Geist with 2 Lingering Souls tokens, but having it only for that reason, I'm not sure if that's enough.
If you draw more than 1 in a game, it is just not going to be very good.
Yeah, exactly.
I would much rather have a Celestial Purge to be able to take a Sorin out.
Yeah, I could see Josh Graves having 1, maximum 2 Vapor Snags in his deck, but even that's pushing it.
I agree.
So yeah, I think we'll see the Surgicals. I think we'll see the Dissipates, the one Corrosive Gale, some number of Celestial Purge.
I agree with all that.
All depends on what Josh wants to take out of his deck,
Mhm.
how many Vapor Snags he wants to leave in. Overall, though, Josh Graves' deck gets a lot better than David Palmer's
Right.
post board.
I completely agree.
In the matchup, though, who do you think has the edge?
Oh man. I think that I think Josh might have an edge on this one.
Yeah, I think so too. Even though David Palmer won game one, I think Josh has the edge in the matchup. All things.
All right, and we
being
are
equal.
off to the races for game two. David checking out his hand. And it looks like they're both keeping. Turn one, will be a Delver or will it be a Taxium Probe?
Ponder.
Ponder.
Probably the play that Josh Graves least wants to do on turn one with one
Yeah.
mana. Much rather have a Delver, of course. One of the most important cards. Having a Delver on turn one, such a high win percentage, almost like having a Goblin Guide on turn one.
Yeah, it is really, really powerful.
Such a huge difference.
And is that a
It's an Evolving Wilds. I
Evolving
believe.
Wilds? So another card that we were expecting big things out of Dark Ascension, and this is another deck that is taking advantage of it.
Yeah. So many of these 3-color decks would not have been possible without that
Oh
card.
yeah. Turn two Delver. Now the Ponder probably has set Josh up well enough to make sure he's going to flip him next turn.
Yeah, you have to imagine that third card down is an instant. David Palmer just has to operate under that assumption.
He gets Swamp.
Beautiful, unhinged, signed by John Avon Swamp. I like
And
it.
signed by John Avon is not necessarily easy.
No, John
Because-
Avon goes to like one event per year.
Yeah,
Max.
if that even. He does not travel
Yeah.
much.
It's usually in Japan too.
And especially the last few years, he's apparently not been in great health the last few years.
Oh really?
Had some,
I didn't know
had
that.
some medical issues, so he's not been traveling much. The last time I think he was in the U.S. was in Indianapolis
Wow.
for 2008 or something.
So Delver flips, revealing
Yeah.
Ponder. I think Josh Graves has the other 3 Ponders in his hand.
Oh wow!
So
And he also has a Mana Leak,
Yeah.
so he is not in any rush.
no, Josh
He-
Graves is really happy just to sit behind that Delver.
Looks like he can just play another island, Ponder, and pass the turn. And sorry for being a bit quiet. The room does really clear out, and you don't want to talk too loud, lest people hear
Yeah.
if we go crazy about
The
stuff.
contents of David Palmer's hand is
That might be awkward.
just a little bit.
Might not appreciate it. We'll move the mics closer, so hopefully you can hear our whispers a little better.
Yep. We have to whisper like we're in the vault of the Archangel.
Which, because also everyone has left, the room temperature has now feels much more like the Vault of the Archangel.
Yeah, that's for sure. So Josh Graves.
Yep. Again, just sitting back on Mana Leak.
Yep.
He is going to make David Palmer do something. David Palmer goes with a Lingering Souls,
Choo-
which
choose not to cast Liliana, which I like.
I do like that. That is the best option there. You're gonna, Josh would have to play. Basically, have 3 Mana Leaks to stop between Lingering Souls, and Liliana.
Right.
To save that Delver.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with the play of David Palmer throughout this
Yeah.
tournament. Definitely pretty good.
Yeah, he's been doing great.
Delver.
Attack will take David Palmer down to 14, and it looks like this is probably a Geist. It is a Geist.
Wow. So if David Palmer has a Day of Judgment and a land, he will just blow Josh Graves out right here.
If he doesn't, he still gets to cast Lingering Souls.
Yeah. And there's the land.
Yep.
And there's
and
the
there's
day.
And fortunes can change pretty quickly.
We heard the groans of Josh Graves' friend when that Day of Judgment was dropped onto the table right
Yeah.
there. They're not happy. Josh isn't happy. He needs to ponder into something good
And
here.
now David has this hand. Oh, another Day of Judgment, a Liliana, a Sorin.
Sorin, wow.
It's just full of
Garrick too.
full of gas. Yeah, his hand is just gassy.
Jeez. Still at a healthy 14 too.
Yeah. Another Ponder. Josh has the option here of just assuming he draws a land. And shuffling off Ponder. He never likes shuffling off Ponder.
Nope. Josh Graves though does have 1 ponder left, so
He
even
does.
if he draws something like a land off this ponder, he can still go digging for another creature.
And if he wants to, he can use Moral Haunt.
Yep, that too.
So it's apparently John Avon was at Gen Con a couple summers ago. Yep, just still shuffling.
What
Every
does
day they're
Josh Graves
shuffling.
want to draw right now?
He probably wants to play another land, another Delver, and just keep up that pressure.
Yeah, with Moreland Haunt up.
Right,
too.
with more on Hunt up, because the biggest. Then even if David Palmer does play, say, a Liliana, he can always attack into it.
Yep.
Now he does also have another Lingering Souls in his graveyard.
So he'll flashback Souls
Flashback
playing around
Souls.
Mana Leak.
Yep. And it looks like that's probably going to resolve.
I think it has to.
Yeah.
Josh Graves just has to be so afraid of
He's so
the
down
rest
on
of the
cards
cards.
too. Yeah.
So not sure what the players are talking about right now.
Maybe discussing whether or not that was flashback earlier. I don't know.
Right. Looks like
Or
David.
how many lands should be in play?
Right.
Looks like they're conferring with the table judge to make sure that no extra lands happened,
Mm-hmm.
which we know they didn't. I mean, David Palmer cast the Day of Judgment last turn, and he has 5 lands now.
Exactly. 3 lands the previous turn for Lingering Souls.
Right.
Josh Graves missed his land drop last turn. We'll try and get word from the table judge what this was all about after he finishes up here.
Income from Seer tokens.
And we'll see if David Palmer plays this Liliana. No, he just says go. He's playing pretty cautiously. Really wants to play around Mana Lake here at every
Yeah.
opportunity. Generally a good thing to do if you can afford to.
And, obviously Josh is not putting on much pressure up right now.
Right.
He does have a, Oh, okay. Sounds like Josh forgot to draw from Pondering, got a warning for that.
Yep. Ponders some index. Oh, and he shuffled too.
Oh, yeah.
That was probably why he was just shuffling for so long. His opponent was shuffling
Right,
for so
right.
long that he just
forgot about it.
Yep, shipped the turn. Josh
And
Graves.
2 mana for a Rune
Ooh.
Chaser's Pike.
And that's a game changer right there.
Yeah,
Spe-
after
the,
all
the
these
first
ponders?
strike. Yeah.
Now, if he equips here, David Palmer will be able to play Liliana and kill it.
But he
And
doesn't.
If he plays another land, he can also do it. And none of those things appear to be happening. He may just have to run something out. Run a Garrick out. Yep, just running out a Garrick, see if it gets mana leaked, and if not, kill that spirit.
Yeah, definitely. If it does resolve, he's in pretty good shape here.
But it's not
Yeah.
going to resolve.
It's going to get leaked.
Mana leak takes care of that.
Yep. David Palmer's fine with this, though.
Yeah, a
He gets-
Tragic Slip,
yep.
we'll take that out.
He gets to Tragic Slip,
Gets a get in for 2.
bringing the life totals 14 to 18, and Josh Graves is down to, I think, 2 cards in hand right now. David
Yeah.
Palmer's 4.
I really like that playing the Garrick there instead of Liliana. Because that way, if he sort of protects himself against the Geist.
Right. It's always nice to have answers to a card like Geist. That'll otherwise just
Yeah.
kill you.
Not so much anymore because with the land drop, Josh will be able to both play a Geist and activate Moreland Haunt to save it from Liliana.
Right.
But in is going to come some spirits.
Yep. Josh Graves has no play for his turn.
Oh, it looks like we're going to cast Liliana first. Oblivion Ring.
Okay.
It's
So-
going to take out Rune Chaser's Pike.
Interesting that David Palmer wants to resolve Oblivion Ring more than he wants to resolve the Liliana here.
It is.
Versus Hunt with a Moreland Haunt, though. Liliana
Josh
doesn't
Graves
do much.
representing Snapcaster Mage.
Yep. That will resolve.
In come some creatures. And
Josh-
will he play Liliana now? That's the big question.
He does not. Josh Graves, Spirit Token. I think he's out of creatures in his graveyard right now. We'll make sure he actually removes a creature from his graveyard, too. I don't think he did.
1 blue, yet another ponder.
Yep. Ponder number 4.
Every day he's pondering.
Oh, he ponders all the time.
It's like a philosopher.
Bum, 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 da, ba, da. He will keep those, and he will draw a card this time.
I heavily recommend actually drawing the card this time.
Yeah, Ponder wouldn't be very good if you didn't draw.
And multiple warnings are not good to get.
No.
Now we have a Delver. Spirit comes in for 1.
Mm-hmm.
Taking David Palmer to 13 and Josh to 16. So technically, Josh is still winning this race, though I think that David is obviously in a much better position.
So if you're David Palmer now, are you on the offensive or the defensive here?
You're on the offensive. You're down a little bit of life, but your hand is just so full of stuff. You just want to. You're at the point where you're just gonna start jamming your hand down.
Yeah, I would just start playing my spells with impunity. I wouldn't play around Mana Leak anymore.
He's gonna Sorin. Well, he just happened to be around Mana Leak.
Right.
I think you make the token here, and maybe you only swing with 1 creature.
Yeah,
or you can swing with none. I mean, no matter what happens, you are pretty far ahead of the curve. You can also play Liliana. Make him sacrifice a creature if you'd like to. He has a lot of options.
Yeah, it looks like he's making room for it.
Yep, and making that 1/1 lifelink vampire.
1/1 vampire. The emblem sort of just would be a win more here, as Josh Graves can just trade just trade the spirit tokens if he has to.
Right, and he doesn't have to attack with his own tokens just so he can block that Delver.
Right.
Josh and David's in a position where he just wants to, take his advantage. He's got all these planeswalkers, and just every turn a planeswalker pretty much gets back half of its mana and a card.
Right.
Maybe one of these creatures is not quite worth that, but it's close.
Mm-hmm. So Josh Graves, end of turn, thought scours himself, clearing the top of the top of his library. Flips Delver anyway.
Yep. Insect Aberration.
Yep. Revealing Probe.
And he's going to see David Palmer's hand, and he's probably not going to be too happy with it.
No. Paying 2 life.
Liliana and a Day of Judgment.
So still another planeswalker.
Things could be better.
Still a Day of Judgment.
Yep.
Josh Graves only has to fight through 2 more spells, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, sort of 2.5 with that Sorin in play.
If he drew a sword or another pike, can't get through, but he can really press his advantage. A sword would get him through.
Sword would be very, very good for Josh Graves right here.
Amazing right now.
Josh Graves only has access to 2 between the main deck and the sideboard.
Right. And he is, he's pondering. Now, if he left in some of those Vapor Snags, right now would be the time. And he does not have one, though. Sorin goes down to 3. We still have a vampire.
Yep. Josh Graves, at least 1 creature in his graveyard now. We're not sure what he milled the Thought Scour, but at least 1 creature. Ooh, here's a Snapcaster. Looks like this might be the 5th Ponder of the game. Ponder number 5.
Wow, this is so many Ponders.
So Josh Graves looks like he's in a tough spot right now.
He is pondering.
He's not happy.
No, he's not. He knows he's under the gun. He's seen David's hand. David attacks.
1 lifelink.
He goes up to 14. Josh goes down to 13.
Yep. So the life totals reverse themselves.
And Soren's going to make another guy.
Yeah, Sorin will do what Sorin does.
Now the question for David is, do you Liliana? You probably need to plus it if you did.
I see what Josh Graves was upset about. He tapped his mana wrong. End of turn, he won't be able to activate Moorland Haunt.
Gotcha. That's big.
Yeah, it is.
And there goes the Liliana. And
that will
then
plus
gets
one.
plussed. Discarding, probably not Day of Judgment, probably whatever the other card was.
Yeah, unless the other card is very good. David Palmer knows exactly what he's discarding.
Oh, it is the day.
Okay, so David Palmer probably drew another Planeswalker there. Sorin makes a 1/1 vampire. Lifelink. End of turn, Josh Graves does not make a token, of course.
Yeah, which is very big.
Yeah, that's extremely relevant
You
here.
could really start taking out Soren.
Looks like Josh Graves at least 2 creatures in his graveyard.
Geist and Delver.
Yep. So Geist was what he discarded to that Liliana. What is his other card? A sword, maybe?
Maybe a sword.
He definitely pondered enough that he probably should have found one by now,
And then the sword
statistically.
would be, pretty unfortunate if it was. Because it would keep him from killing
Guess it's not a
either
sword.
of his planeswalkers. Yeah. I imagine that the Snapcaster Mage will get blocked.
Yep. Trade with the Vampire. David Palmer will gain 1 life, go up to 15. Soren will drop by 1, though. Go down to 3.
And another Delver.
Wow. So Josh Graves kept Delver over Geist.
Yeah, he is keeping in this game. I guess that he could just make a second Vampire and block it.
Right.
And he really needs to flip this Delver if he's going to stay in this.
That's true.
He needs Soren dead.
Vampire attacks bring the life total 16 David Palmer, 12 Josh Graves.
And I believe Josh has 1 card in hand. The question for David is it worth it to Liliana?
Yeah.
I can't see what his cards are. And it looks like he is. Oh, he's sacking.
Yep.
Down goes a more 1 haunt token.
Figured Josh Graves would have played any relevant spell here.
Looks like Soren. I imagine Soren will go up.
Yep. Soren, I think, is in auto-up mode this game.
And he's doesn't seem too pleased with his hand. Yeah.
Evolving
not a man.
Wilds. So what card did he keep? He discarded Day of Judgment. What card did he keep? Could it have been something like a Go for the Throat?
I guess it could have been.
I don't know. I feel like if it was, that Delver would be dead.
I agree.
Huh.
Does he have any cards in his hand? I don't think he does.
He had one when he Liliana'd.
We just played. He just played a Evolving Wilds and sacked it.
Right. So that Delver flips, which is exactly what Josh Graves needed. Blind flip off Delver, drawing Gitaxian Probe.
Enough to kill the Soren.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, this game is looking better and better for Josh.
Yep. So he'll probe, revealing Day. Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, he drew another Day of Judgment. That's why it got discarded. And yeah, killing that Soren is huge here. Just huge.
In comes the team.
Yep. And
Down
Soren
goes Soren.
Liliana on 2 counters. Liliana will at least force the sacrifice of a 1/1 token before it dies, if that's what David Palmer wants.
He is drawn.
What David Palmer really wants right now is a Gideon Jura.
That would be pretty good right now.
Yep. So Liliana.
Sacrifice. Get rid of that Delver.
David Palmer might have drawn another Liliana. That might make sense for -2. Or he doesn't want to discard the cards in his hand.
Or he's got. That's a good question. What could he draw here that would be really good? Garrick just trades straight up, so that's not great. It's not bad, but it's not great.
That's okay.
Yep, it is not a
Yep,
Liliana.
Liliana. That makes sense as to why he -2'd it.
He can -2 again, which is just going to eat a more haunt token.
Right, but more importantly, kills that Delver.
No, because he can just make a token in response.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes.
He has enough creatures left over.
Use Moorland Haunt. I believe he's down to 1 or 0 creatures in his graveyard. And David Palmer passes the turn.
So at least 1 creature in his graveyard.
Those vampires, though, from Soren are whittling away at Josh Graves' life total.
And the swings, the 1 per turn, has been pretty relevant.
Yeah. So Josh Graves attacks David Palmer directly. David Palmer drops to 15. Not worried about that Liliana. He knows that he can just attack it once it gets up to 2. Invisible Stalker.
He seems to be daring David to Day of Judgment.
Yeah. He knows that even if David does, he still has 2 Moorland Haunts.
Yeah. Never going to Day it. Probably has to be this turn. Just because you can +1 Liliana and keep her alive through one Mullen Haunt token.
Haunt, yeah.
But again, it just all depends what's on his hand, and his planeswalkers are just none of them are in a great position right now.
Right, Moreland Haunt just gets around all the sorcery speed planeswalkers so well.
The best he could really hope for maybe is a Day and a Sorin.
Yep. So David Palmer just says go. Doesn't even use his Liliana. Both his cards in hand must be pretty good.
That's what I would believe.
My guess would be a removal spell and that Day of Judgment. So David Palmer takes 3. Liliana takes 1 from Stalker.
Josh is at 8.
Yeah, he has to start worrying about those tokens pretty soon.
He's going to have to use that Moreland Haunt, and maybe David's just trying to get him to use that Moreland Haunt.
Right. Wants to get as much mileage out of his Day of Judgment as possible. Swings with those Sorin tokens. And yep, it looks like Moreland Haunt will now attempt to trade.
Another Delver will be turned into a Spirit and block.
Yep, so David Palmer will gain 2 though. Will go up to 16. Josh Graves will drop to 7. And now if you're David Palmer, do you Day of Judgment? I can't imagine it'll get better than this.
Right now it's great. 3 mana. What could he have for 3 mana? Another Liliana.
Wow. Liliana number 3.
Wow.
So David Palmer drawing all the Lilianas, none of the Elspeths, none of the Gideons this game.
Those are the 2 he really needs this game. Especially right now.
Yep, so he +1s it. Josh Graves discards a land, as does David Palmer. And now he days. Who, and Josh Graves drew a Dissipate. So now Josh Graves in great position in a game that seemed like he was losing. All those ponders, his hand just got better than David Palmer's over time.
Yeah, he missed for a few turns, and David Palmer missed for a few turns, and that Insect Aberration is just able to kill any Planeswalker he plays.
Yeah, they are both out of cards right now, though. Josh Graves just drew a land for his turn off Gitaxian Probe.
Right, but he still gets it for 4.
Yeah, out of creatures in his graveyard. And Liliana down. Josh says go.
Does he have something amazing to swing this? Must have one more creature left.
I guess he does, yeah.
He still has a Geist left or something.
Snapcaster, maybe. Something gets removed, and that'll trade with that token, bring David Palmer up to 17. And here is a Tragic Slip. Wow, that's really good.
That is, David needed that.
So
it does continue to fuel that Moreland Haunt, though.
Yep. Oh, Josh Graves does not use it. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't know how much longer you can really afford to play around things like Day of Judgment.
You really need to just get going. I mean, you don't want David to draw a Garrick. You don't want to draw a Sorin now. You don't want to draw pretty much anything that he has.
Yeah.
All of his Planeswalkers are just so good right now. And he's tapping a lot of mana.
Ooh, Elspeth. Wow. That's a good draw.
That is a very good draw.
But,
that is going to make some tokens.
Like we said, the late game favors David Palmer. He has so many better draws. He has Karn, Elspeth, Gideon, Sorin, Garrick, Liliana.
The cards he can draw this turn are just, these next few turns, what David's going to draw, maybe a sword, maybe another, like a 4th Delver.
Right, but he just has so few business spells in his deck. They're all things like Invisible Stalker, Delver.
Right, and David can draw that. He can draw more Lingering Souls.
Mm-hmm.
Just everything.
Josh Graves, end of turn, makes a Moreland Haunt token. Have to imagine this Elspeth will die.
Yes.
Will, however, make 3 tokens, and Josh Graves is at 7 life. Those are really relevant.
Yeah, this race is definitely David's favoring this one. And he's beyond Mana Leak, so it's just one less card Josh Graves can draw.
Yeah. So Elspeth down, but Josh Graves no more play, no other play.
Checks his cards, comes in for 3.
Josh Graves down to 4 life.
Yeah, it goes to 4.
David Palmer still at 16. Those vampire tokens gained him so much life this game. Ooh.
Oh, that was a
Snapcaster. That's a great draw.
That is very good. That will probably flash back a Dissipate.
Yeah, it'll be able to hit Dissipate. It'll also be able to hit Ponder.
I see. I think you might. Well, oh, this is hard.
I think he has to just play. I think he has to play a Ponder here.
Looks like that's what he's doing.
Snapcaster Ponder. Ponder number 6 of the game. And Josh Graves would love to hit a Sword of War and Peace here, a card he has not seen yet this game. Actually, Runechanter's Pike is even better than Sword right now. That's actually way better right now. Only has 1 left in the deck, though, as 1 is under that Oblivion Ring you see in the bottom, at the bottom of your screen. Josh Graves shuffling. David Palmer loves that. And David Palmer thinking just 1 more blank, and he'll be forced to trade some of these creatures away. So his opponent's deck right now, about 30 cards left in it. Josh Graves,
might be less.
Yeah. Josh Graves has just done so much deck manipulation at this point.
So many cantrips.
Yep.
Shuffles, draws. And
He did draw a blue card, I think. I think I saw it was blue, but not sure what it is.
could it be another Snapcaster?
That would be crazy.
That would be crazy.
That would be Ponder number 7.
I see. At some point, I think he just needs to just hold back for just big because there's so many big cards.
Right.
But maybe he's going for after number 7. Taps 2 and untaps 2. Didn't like that.
1.
Tax for 1. Takes
Stalker.
David to 15.
Ping ya. Land.
Another land.
And
Passes.
says go. So now he does have Snapcaster Dissipate if indeed he drew a Snapcaster. And David Palmer swings for 3. Block. Josh Graves take
done.
1, down to 3.
Yeah.
1 more Moorland Haunt token available though.
David drew something.
Yeah, I think that 3 mana was being tapped for Lingering Souls. Ooh, Tezzret's Gambit. Haven't seen any of that card yet. David Palmer does drop to 13 to play that though.
Yep, and it does not actually
Proliferate a thing?
proliferate thing. Yeah,
Nope.
no.
Still, David Palmer really happy to cast Council of the Sword Tommy here, even if it costs him 2 life. But has to say go.
Moorland Haunt still being fed. 1 more token.
Yep, now Josh Graves again out of creatures for those haunts.
And another land he drew.
Wow. Josh Graves just a ton of land here.
For a deck that plays so few.
Yeah, including the ones he discarded to Liliana, he has drawn over half his lands. So David Palmer takes 1, goes to 12. But Stalker just plinks away. Now, likely David Palmer sided out his 1 Karn Liberated, but if he didn't, that would be a great draw for him.
That would be a very good draw. Assuming that Josh doesn't have a Snapcaster as the last card.
Right.
Then it would be a very bad draw.
So it looks like Josh Graves says go after some deliberation. Another Evolving Wilds.
Really not happy with the cards he's been drawing this game.
No. So main phase, fetches Evolving Wilds, wants to get that land out of his deck. Could this signify another Tezzret's Gambit?
Yeah, good.
Maybe he just wants to get it out of the way so he doesn't forget.
Yeah. And it's just no point in waiting, really.
Right. Wow, David Palmer just says go.
Man.
He must have drawn all lands, either that or a removal spell.
Not particularly good against Invisible Stalker.
No.
And goes to 11. He's
Cool.
still leading, but the advantage is slowly whittling away.
Yeah, this has been a crazy seesaw game here.
Yeah.
After David Palmer effortlessly took game 1, this game 2 is settled in to be a grind.
Now, it looks like he drew a spell there, but 1 more land. He has I saw
Wow.
there's 1 more land in his hand.
So David Palmer hits a glut of land while Josh Graves is free to attack with that Stalker. And as soon as Josh draws an equipment, that Stalker is going to get a lot scarier. So it comes in
10
for
to
1,
3.
10 to 3.
Runeshare's Pike might actually be lethal right now.
I think it definitely is.
Josh draws again.
Yeah, David should definitely be playing out his lands because of Sword of War and Peace here. Dave Judgment's away, a 1/1 Stalker.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, you do. That Stalker will just turn into another token.
Yep, and he had the Snapcaster.
Yep.
Snapcaster is gonna cast Dissipate.
Wow. So now all of a sudden,
The question for David now is the last card something?
it would have been great to bait out that Dissipate with something like a Lingering Souls, but it doesn't look like that's what happened.
No, it does not. David is going to get a 7.
What is this? This is a Thought Scour. We'll mill a creature and a land, so one more for Moorland Haunt.
And, yep, takes him to 7.
So David Palmer needs a great draw here. He's going to be facing down 4 power of creatures this next attack phase. But now just a land. But there's a Souls. And that is pretty good with Josh Graves at 3 life.
Yeah, he's
facing down lethal.
He is facing lethal, and I don't think he has enough creatures left in his deck to get enough enough tokens to block all that.
No, unless we're wrong about it, he has only got 1 creature left in his graveyard. Josh Graves asks how much mana he has available, perhaps considering quadruple mana leak.
I have all the mana.
And he'll flash it back as well.
Yeah. More tokens.
Yep, up to 4, and he ships the turn. So Josh Graves does not make a Moorland Haunt token end of turn. Not sure why. Oh, that would be why. Corrosive Gale. So that 1 of Corrosive Gale that we talked about.
Takes him to 1 though.
No, actually does not deal damage to players.
But he had to play Phyrexian
mana.
mana.
The Phyrexian mana. You're right. So in for 3. David Palmer to 4. Josh Graves to 1. Wow. Yeah, David Palmer representing lethal with that 1 creature in the graveyard for Josh Graves. Yeah, it all makes sense.
Something else. Another Stalker. So this is pretty much Wrath or no.
Yep.
You can, of course, draw like another Lingering Souls, for instance, to stay in the game. Crowd seems very happy with that draw.
4 mana. Oh,
wow.
Wow.
Talk
what
about
a draw.
Yeah. Here, I was just thinking, funnily, what if he draws Life's Finale?
Jeez. Curse of Death's Hold, even better. Josh Graves counts David's mana. You can't mana leak that though, Josh.
Mana leak is not going to be enough.
Not even enough. So, all of a sudden, I think Josh milled all 4 of his Geist of St. Traffs.
I think he might have. He might. Oh, and he draws the sword the next turn.
Wow, what a painful draw.
Jeez.
Yeah, either Josh Graves has used 3 or 4 Geists. We're not sure on the exact number. But either way, he goes from automatic win to drawing so slim this game.
He may have no outs left in his deck.
Yeah, I don't think he does. Unless he sided in something like Phantasmal Image, there's not going to be anything left for him. Wow.
Quite a turn of events.
This has been one of the best games we've watched all day.
It has. And of course, David Palmer still does have to win it.
Yep, he does.
He still has to, draw a win condition, and we know he should have enough left.
Oh yeah, definitely. He has at least 2 Garrix left. I think he's only gone through 2 of those. So unless Josh can counter every one of his threats, David should win.
Well, and David probably is also has plenty more cards than Josh too.
Right. Yeah, from all that thought scouring and pondering.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly.
Another land.
Yep, now it's just
passes the
a
turn.
game of draw go while Josh accumulates all these cards that do nothing. He'll Thought Scour. Ooh, decides to maybe target David. No, that's a Gataxian Probe. So he's Naturalized, Tragic Slip, Oblivion Ring. So David Palmer, lots of removal. No creatures yet. No ways to win.
Yep, it seems pretty hopeless for Josh here.
Yeah, I'm. You know, I keep looking at his deck list, trying to see what he can do.
Now maybe he boarded in Revoke.
Maybe. If so, we have not seen it yet from a Ponder, from a Thought Scour, from anything.
Yeah, a lot of cards.
Yeah. Josh Graves, if he has Vapor Snags left in his deck, I guess he could quadruple Vapor Snag, but that doesn't seem very likely that he has that many left in his deck,
Yeah,
if any.
so.
You know, I keep looking at the deck list. I don't think there's any way.
Oh, it looks
for
like
Josh
we
Graves to
finally
win.
might have a play here. It's like
Lingering Souls. That one's pretty good. Flashback. David Palmer senses the end here. He's confident. He thinks he has it locked up. We'll see if Josh Graves has anything left.
Does Josh agree with him?
3 mana. Sword of War and Peace. No, that won't do it.
Nope.
Josh Graves will make David do it. We'll make him attack.
David did not draw 3 cards this turn, or
Nope.
2 cards, and so that was...
Oh, I think the Souls was dissipated.
Oh, wow.
Okay, that's why there were no tokens in play. Hard to see with that box covering up the graveyard there. So this game marches on.
Just never ends. Elspeth?
Wow. Attempt
If
number
that
2.
resolves, that is certainly enough creatures to win the game.
Yep. And Josh Graves going for a mana leak, maybe? Mana leak it?
I think he's going to pay.
I think he might. Oh, he remembered.
Pay again. 3rd time, maybe?
He'll probably pay a 3rd time.
I know he would.
So Elspeth will make 3 tokens. And David Palmer will again just have to ask, do you have it? But to be honest, I'm not even sure what it is at this point.
No, I think that Josh is out of any possible card. And
Yeah,
he scoops
wow,
it up.
there's the scoop, there's the hand. An amazing game of Magic.
Yeah.
David Palmer takes
back
it
and
down.
forth, back and forth.
Yeah. So
Celestial Purge was the next card.
Celestial Purge, the next card. Wow.
Jeez.
What an epic game. David Palmer, it looks like he's so happy to have won. He won by the skin of his teeth. You see him mouth wow there.
In every way possible.
Yeah, what a crazy game that was.
Yeah.